All right, let's talk about how to travel smarter. Today, we're going to break down all those common mistakes that, just drain your wallet and honestly leave you feeling like you missed out on the real experience. And we're going to use a blueprint from someone who learned it all the hard way, an expat living down in Panama City. So, let me start with a question for you. Have you ever been on a trip, you buy something, and you just get that little nagging feeling in the back of your head that you just paid the tourist price? Yeah, it's a feeling we all know. And what's so frustrating is that most of the time, you're probably right. And this is where it starts to get really interesting. Our source, a Canadian expat named Sean Ali, who actually lives in Panama City, he makes this incredibly bold claim. He says that 90% of what you're reading in the guidebooks, it's just wrong. He argues they're selling you this fantasy version of a city, not the real one that locals live in every single day. He actually calls it the tourist trap checklist, and, well, it probably looks a little too familiar, right? Paying way too much for a taxi, eating at mediocre restaurants, maybe missing the most authentic neighborhoods entirely. And what's the worst part? You leave a new place just thinking, it was okay. This isn't just a Panama problem. It's a tourist problem everywhere.
So what's the fix? You might think, oh, I just need to save up a bigger budget. But that's not it at all. The real key here isn't having more money to burn. It's having better information.
And this is why his advice is so legit. His credibility doesn't come from some quick sponsored trip. It comes from real experience. He flat out admits that when he moved to Panama City, he made every single classic mistake you can make. He learned what not to do the hard way, so we don't have to. Okay, so let's get practical. Think about that moment you land at the airport. You're a little tired, a little disoriented. That very first journey to your hotel, it is a classic tourist trap. And how it goes can really set the tone for your whole trip. So take a look at this. The typical tourist just walks out, grabs the first taxi they see, and pays around $40. But the insider, the one with the right info, they take the city's clean, direct metro line for 35 cents. No, seriously, that is not a typo. 35 cents. And just like that, with one tiny piece of local knowledge, you've saved nearly $40 before you've even checked into your hotel. I mean, that is the power of just thinking like an insider. And look, this isn't just some theory. Listen to what this guy Marcus from Austin said after he used this exact tip.
The guide paid for itself instantly. That is the kind of real, tangible value we're talking about. Actual money back in your pocket from hour one.
But this whole insider mindset, it goes way beyond just grabbing a ride from the airport. It applies to one of the most important parts of any trip, right? The food. How do you find those amazing, authentic meals without getting sucked into the usual tourist traps? How about this for an answer? $2. That's what our source says you can pay for incredible, fresh ceviche at a little spot that is loved by locals. This is not in any guidebook. It's the kind of place you only find when you have the inside track. And pretty soon, this becomes your new normal. You start finding the hidden gems, the rooftop bars that don't even have a sign, the local joints that are packed on a Tuesday night. And the savings, they just keep adding up. That same traveler, Marcus, he saved another $140 just by following the guide's food recommendations. So look, while the savings are awesome, this approach to travel goes so much deeper than just the numbers on a receipt. It's not really about being frugal, it's about completely transforming your entire experience. This is the core idea. He calls it the mindset shift. It's that exact moment you stop being a passive visitor, just kind of taking whatever is offered to you, and you start actively navigating a city with the confidence of someone who lives there. You're not just visiting anymore, you're really experiencing it from the inside. And that's why this all matters. It's about so much more than saving money. It's about having the confidence to explore off the beaten path, the joy you get from genuine discovery, and making memories that go far beyond just checking a few sites off a list. So, I guess it all comes down to this one simple question. For your next big adventure, which one are you going to choose to be? Are you going to follow the signs and the crowds, or are you going to seek out the kind of knowledge that lets you see a place from the inside out? Because the choice isn't just about where you go, it's about how you experience it.